Welcome to Can Angels Fly? I'm Nancy, and today I'm here to discuss the 12 universal laws with a focus on one of the laws in particular, and that is the law of attraction. This video is a part of my series on the law of attraction. I am attempting to break down what it actually means when using the term or the idea or the concept of the law of attraction. I've heard um, that the law of attraction is purely visualization, thinking positively, and you pull it, whatever you desire, to you. If you are true, if it is truly your truth, if you're able to maintain that level of positivity, etc., etc. And to an extent, that is, I believe, absolutely correct. But I believe that there are other parts that we miss. We overlook all the small details. And that particular viewpoint is the overall experience or the overall result of having all of the parts in place. And what are the parts? Well, the parts that I speak of are the 12 universal laws. Before I move forward, I like to kind of zoom in so that you can take a look at the board behind me. I hope you can see it. I'm going to try to move over. Let's see. I don't know how this is going to go, but let's take a look up here. Above are samples of magnets, basic magnets. Magnets we know are a part of nature. And we're going to go into detail about magnets relative to the law of attraction. We'll also focus on the dualism sign relative to the law of attraction. So let me zoom on out and get back in the frame. The first thing I like to do is read off the 12 universal laws. Remember, even though I am announcing or introducing the 12 universal laws, our primary focus is on the law of attraction. I'll try to make my theory clear somewhere along the way as I move forward and gain a clear understanding about what it means when the term or the concept or the idea of laws of attraction is used. And how, I'll say this, many of us, when we're introduced to the law of attraction, we immediately try to use the law of attraction to pull to us, attract to us that which we desire. Many times we find out it just doesn't work. So in this video, maybe I can explain why it may not be working, why it's not just that simple to visualize your desires and to stay positive and focused on your desires. We'll see though, we'll see. So let's cover the 12 universal laws. 1, the law of oneness. Now, maybe I should go into detail about the law of oneness while we're on it. I'll give a brief definition of each universal law as well as some synonyms. I'll go through all 12, and then after I do that, we'll turn our focus to the board and the images on the board behind me. Okay, the law of oneness. Oneness is defined as singleness, identity, union, unity of thought, feeling, belief, aim, etc. The synonym or some synonyms for oneness are accord, harmony, integrity, uniformity, individualism, indivisibility. I'm going to stop right here because I don't want to have to keep going back. Let's focus on the dualism sign. That right there. Let's see. Dualism. As I covered the 12 universal laws, I would like for you to use your imagination for the purpose of identifying each of these 12 universal laws. So I'll keep the camera up close on the dualism sign as we move forward. Law number 1, again, is oneness. It is singleness, identity, union, unity of thought, feeling, belief, aim, etc. Synonyms for oneness are accord, harmony, integrity, uniformity, indivisibility. Now let's move on to law number 2. Give me a moment. Okay, yeah. It's the law of vibration. Now, the law of vibration or vibration is defined as the act of vibrating, oscillating, reciprocating, or other periodic motion of a rigid or elastic body or medium forced from a position or state of equilibrium. That was a lot. The state of equilibrium has been disturbed. Now, what are some synonyms for the term vibration? The synonyms are fluctuation, pulse, tremor, throb, wave. Let's go on to law number 3. And law number 3 is the law of action. The definition for action is being active, something done or performed, a deed. Some synonyms for the term action are activity, life, operation, response, animation, enterprise, industry, and occupation. Now remember, we are using our imaginations to see each of these terms or energies in the sign of dualism. At the end of me stating each law and giving a definition for the primary term associated with each law, and then a synonym for each primary term of a given law, we're going to come look real close at this dualism sign to see how each of these terms or energies play out. After that, we're going to start focusing on the law of attraction. So just ride the wave with me, if you will. That's it, is if you have nothing else to do right now. Well, let's move on to number 4, the law of correspondence. You know what? I'm going to tear this page off because I'm going back and forth. The law of correspondence. Correspondence is the communication by exchange of letters, information exchange. The synonyms for correspondence are coherence, comparability, comparison, equivalence, fitness, match, symmetry. The next law number 5, is the law of cause and effect. The definition of cause will be given first, and then it will be followed by the definition of effect. Cause, the motive for an action, a person or thing that acts, happens, or exists in such a way that some specific thing happens as a result, a goal, or movement. Now, synonyms for the term cause are matter, purpose, root, source, aim, author, beginning, creator, Genesis. What is this? Give me a minute. I can't read my own writing. I have no idea what I wrote, so I'm going to skip that one. That's absolutely horrible. Producer, prime mover. Oh, I guess that word was mover. Prime mover. Now let's go on to effect. Effect is something that is produced by an agency, result, consequence. The synonyms associated with effect are aftermath, fallout, outcome, ramification, side effect, end fruit. I don't know if I said that clearly. End fruit. Sequence, chain reaction. Now let's move on to law number 6. And law number 6 is the law of compensation. Remember, we're using our imagination to see these terms or energies in this dualism sign. The law of compensation. The definition for compensation is rewarding someone for service or by making up for someone's loss, damage, or injury by giving the injured party an appropriate benefit. Synonyms for the term compensation are coverage, fee, payment, reimbursement, atonement, consideration, reciprocity, salt, recoupment. Now let's move on to term or law number 7. And law number 7 is what we're focusing primarily on in this video, and it is the law of attraction. The definition for attraction is magnetic charm, allurement, enticement. Synonyms for the term attraction are allure, appeal, interest, bait, cultivation, chemistry, fascination, invitation, pull, seduction, temptation, drawing power. On to term number 8, or law number 8, the law of perpetual of transmutation of energy. The definition of perpetual of transmutation of energy is broken down in three, in two parts, I think. We'll see. Remember, we're using our imagination to see these energies or terms in the dualism sign. Our primary focus in this video is on the law of attraction. But first, we have to understand or come to know all the laws associated with law of attraction, the 12 universal laws. Now on with perpetual of transmutation of energy. Perpetual definition is continuing or enduring forever, everlasting, continuing or continued without intermission or interruption. Now, let's define transmutation. That was a long term, basically a phrase. Transmutation. The definition of transmutation is change into another nature, substance, form, or condition. The transmutation of one species into another. Synonyms for transmutation are alternation, conversion, metamorphosis, mutation, transfiguration. That was a long one. But now we're on to term number 9, or law number 9. And law number 9 is relativity. The definition of relativity is the state or quality of being relative. What does it have to do? What do they have to do with each other? What do these particular objects have to do with each other? And I just kind of put that in there. But I'll continue to read. Albert Einstein's theory that all motion must be defined relative to a frame of reference, and that space and time are relative. Now, this is my interpretation. It'll be a little rough. Remember, we're using our imagination. Is any given individual must be guaranteed to share or be present with another individual at a set place and during that time period. And every time these individuals come together, they have the same work to do. Each and every time, there is no possibility that they will not be together or perform that particular work. What do they have to do with each other? And whatever two objects or more have to do with each other, it is always the same in a particular place and time. That's about as basic as I can make it based on my understanding. Anyway, we're going to move forward now. And I didn't give the synonyms for relativity. Remember, this is the law of relativity. And the law of relativity was just defined with all of that stuff, Einstein's theory and my interpretation of Einstein's theory. Now we're going to just deal with the synonyms associated with the term relativity. And they are shared mindset, shared viewpoint, objectivity, overview, frame of reference, relative importance. Again, what do they have to do with one another? How do they relate? Whatever they are. We'll come back to that. Let's move on to term number 10, or law number 10, the law of polarity. The definition for polarity is the property or characteristic that produces unequal physical effects at different points in a body or system. The presence or manifestation of two opposite or contrasting principles or tendencies. Now, what are the synonyms associated with the term polarity? They are antagonism, aversion, clash, combat, competition, contradiction, counteract, defense, rivalry, strife, struggle, war, encounter. The next term, the 11th term or the 11th law, is the law of rhythm. Rhythm is defined as movement or procedure with uniform or patterned reoccurrence of a beat, accent, or the like. Measured movement. Synonyms for rhythm are cadence, flow, tempo, bounce, time, uniformity, rise, and fall. Now, our final universal law, the 12th law, the law of gender. How is the term gender defined? It is defined as either male or female division of a particular species. Membership as related to a class having reproduction abilities, necessary requirements. The synonyms for gender are masculine and feminine, negative and positive, common, natural, typical, universal. Now, I'm going to back out from this close-up on the dualism sign. Hi, I'm back. Oh, there you go. Hi, I'm back. As we finalize our, evaluation of the dualism sign, in order to get an understanding of the 12 universal laws with the focus on the law of attraction. I'm trying to figure out how to proceed. Well, let's focus. I'll take one step at a time. This dualism sign. Before any dualism sign is only one, but in this case, a dualism sign is created. The components that make up the dualism sign are two complete separate wholes. One is an all black sphere or circle. The other is an all white sphere or circle. Complete. And those two totalities, they're complete, are the same or similar, not the same, but similar or parallel to, let's go zoom in again. Let's see how this is going to work. We're going to go up here this time because we're focusing on my little depictions of magnets. Are similar to the South Pole as one complete whole unit, as is a black sphere or circle. The South Pole has all the properties it takes that are required to be a South Pole. It knows nothing else but to be itself. The same stands true with the black circle or the black sphere associated with creating the dualistic symbol. The North Poles only know and only possess the properties to be a North Pole. They know nothing else. It is the same concept when it comes to the complete white sphere or circle. It only knows what it is to be a complete white sphere or circle. It has all the properties to be complete, a one complete unit. One complete, let's see if I can get this out. I'm doing so many things at one time. One complete unit. We're focusing on the law of attraction, but we're also going to tackle the 12 universal laws. Magnets are a part of our 12 universal laws. In order for magnets to do what they do, they contain all 12 of the universal laws. Let's see. I try to do too many things at once. I know that. Just give me a moment. Let's go back to our two orbs. There we go. There we go. The all black orb and the all white orb. The all white orb has all the properties necessary to be defined as a complete, total white orb. It knows what it is. It can't be anything else. The same stands true with the black orb, the black circle. It has all the properties necessary for it to be a complete black sphere or circle. It knows nothing else. Now, what do they have in common? The law of relativity is that they are orbs or circles. In the case of the magnets, they're both magnets. The difference is that one magnet has the south pole, those particular properties, and the other magnet has the north pole, which consists of the particular properties that belong to the North Pole. The North Pole knows nothing at all about the South Pole. Neither does the South Pole know anything about the properties or what it means to be a North Pole. That stands the same. It stands true with the black sphere or circle. It has no idea what it means to be the white orb or the white circle. And the white circle has no idea, no concept what it means to be a black sphere or circle. However, spheres are spheres, law of relativity. Magnets are magnets, law of relativity. Remember, let's see what the law of relativity says. This is the law. This is necessary for something to even partake in the law of attraction, because that's our focus. Where I'm at, 28 minutes. Gotta move along quicker. The law of relativity states is the state or quality of being relative. What does it mean, relative? Relative is to relate, to be related somehow, like distant cousins or something like that. It also says that, well, Einstein said that all motion must be defined relative to the frame of reference, and that space and time are relative. Again, they are both magnets. How can I break that down? I have to come back to that. Sometimes I just don't have the words. But that's not going to keep us from moving forward. What I need you to do is to hold at the front, the forefront of your mind, these two orbs, as well as, keep the magnets around as well, the north and south magnet, the black sphere or orb and the white sphere, orb, circle, however you like to define them. As we move forward and see how these universal laws create the law of attraction, as well as, let's go, mm, nope, can't go there yet. We're going to wait. Okay, well, let's take these two orbs. The black orb and the white orb are relative to each other. They're related. Um, as are the North and South Pole. They're related. They just have various properties that give them their individuality. Now, how can we define the individuality when we're talking about these two sets of items? Well, let's look at the law of gender. Let's see. Now, law of gender. What is the gender of the black orb? The status of black. What is the gender of the white orb? It's a white orb. Okay. Now let's talk about the magnets. What are the genders of the magnet? One is a south magnet and the other is a north magnet. Gender. So let's read what the universal laws have to say about gender. The law of gender. It is either male or female. Division of a species. Species. We have orbs. They are the same species. They are relative because they are the same species or the same item or the same concept. The same stands true once again when it comes to magnets. They are the same species. They are relative. They are both magnets. However, this is the catch, that going back to the law of gender, it talks about masculine and feminine energy, as well as negative and positive. If I'm not mistaken, when we speak of the black orb or the color black, it is associated with negative, where the white orb, that energy is associated with positive. Now, when it comes to the magnets, I should have researched this, but I'm not exactly sure which is which. But north is one gender, masculine or feminine, and south is the opposite. This law of gender is a universal rule. You can't get past it. When we start talking about universal rule or it being natural, you can't get around it. So remember, our objective is to explore law of attraction a little closer. We're getting into it so we can understand if we can pull into us what we want by just thinking positively. I might as well stop here and not even try to fool myself, nor you, that I'm going to remember. I know I'm not. So I'm going to just say it right here. Side note, that should be saved for the end, but I'm going to inject it in that right now, is that when it comes to the law of attraction, guess what? Guess what? We don't have to do anything. The law of attraction is already set forth. It's already set in motion. And we live it out every day, all day long. Inside note. Now, let's go back and study these orbs associated with the dualism sign, as well as a magnets, natural magnets, a part of natural science, and how they are relative Both examples are relative to the law of attraction. So now we have these two orbs or these two magnets. We have a black orb and a white orb. They both relative. And one is a positive energy, one is a negative energy or masculine, feminine energy, as are the magnets north and south. The next law I think that we should concentrate on is the law of polarity. And why is that? Well, the law of polarity and the law of gender are quite similar, but let's see if we can find how it may differ. Again, the law of polarity talks about, oh, I get it, the property or characteristics that produces unequal physical effects at different points in a body or system. The presence or manifestation of two opposite or contrasting principles or tendencies. Looking at one of the synonyms for polarity can really help us understand this concept. And that term is antagonism. Have you ever been antagonized? Or having a rivalry or strife? Why does this happen? Why does this energy happen? Why is this even possible with the dualism sign as well as magnets? Well, it's because they each have something that the other doesn't have. The white orb only knows what it is to be a white orb. The black orb only knows what it is to be a black orb. And the white orb may, what's the term? Desire to partake in part of the essence of that black orb. Or, in reverse, the black orb may desire to partake in some of the essence of the white orb. If the other orb is not agreeable to share, it causes or leads to combat, rivalry, or the ability to antagonize a person. Ha 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 ha. I got what you want, but you ain't getting it. That kind of energy. The same thing is true with the magnets. And when we start talking about the South Pole only knows what it is to be the South Pole, is there any room for growth? Well, yes. Yes, it is. But the only way the South can be enhanced, the South Pole can be enhanced, is to partake in the properties of the North Pole. But if the North Pole is not willing to give its properties over to share with the South Pole, then the South Pole cannot be enhanced any further, leading to that state of antagonism. So when we start talking about the law of polarity, it just shows that there are two complete opposite spheres, the positive, the negative, the masculine, and feminine. They are total. They have their own totality and have something that the other cannot have or does not possess and cannot accomplish without a collaboration. This is true in both the magnets as well as the dualism sign. Let's see, we had 39 minutes. Let's see, what did we just dealt with polarity. Well, we're going to say, okay, no problem. They're going to work together. And because they naturally agree to work together or come together or to be attracted to one another. Attracted by what means are these two orbs, the black and the white and black orb attracted to each other, or the north and south magnet attracted to each other? It is the the property, or it is the state of not having the ability to enhance its essence greater than it is. But yet, there is something that exists, something relative, something related, that has that, or those components that can enhance it, therefore leading to law of attraction. You got what I need. You got what I need. And so the black orb says to the white orb says to the black orb, hey, you got what I need. The North Pole says to the South Pole, and the South Pole says to the North Pole, hey, you got what I need. You have what can offer me the ultimate experience. You have what is necessary for me to be enhanced. So they come into agreement for a purpose. For a purpose. And I need you right now to focus your energy on law of attraction and drawing to you, or how do you draw to you your experiences, the people in your life, etc., etc. So let me go back and continue on. Now, let's focus back on the definition of attraction. This is number 7. There's so much information to cover that it's overwhelming. However, it's quite fun and it's quite intriguing. So, law of attraction. Attraction, magnetic charm, allurement, enticement. Synonyms: allure, appeal, interest, bait, captivation, chemistry. You meet somebody, you got the chemistry with them. And so we know now, if you're able to keep up with what I'm trying to say, or if I'm saying it correctly, that chemistry between you and another is formulated because you sense that they have something to offer you that you don't have, and vice versa, creating chemistry. Fascination, invitation, pull, seduction, temptation, and drawing power. So now we have the black orb and the white orb fuse together. They come together, they get attracted, they hook up. The same thing stands true with the south magnet and the north magnet. They come together, they hook up, and they move on to the next phase associated with attraction, or being attracted, or being attached, because now we're past attraction, we're into being attached. Let's see, hopefully I don't miss anything. Hope I don't miss anything. I'm trying to get it. Okay, now that the dualism signs have come together and the magnets have come together, the next phase is, which one should I go first? Is the vibration first? Or, well, I guess you have to have vibration first. We'll do the law of vibration, and followed by the law of cause and effect. How is the law of vibration created? It is created by the law of correspondence and the law of compensation. Now, oh, I missed one. I knew I would. The law of rhythm. The law of rhythm. But we'll come to that. We got 15 more minutes. Okay. The law of correspondence. The law of correspondence is shown in magnets by them actually connecting, which shows that they are giving each other something. In the case of the magnets, what are they giving to each other? Pull. They are pulling toward each other. They are connecting. They are in agreement. In the image of the dualism sign, how do we see the law of correspondence? Now let me read the law of correspondence, which is number 4, before we identify how we can tell that correspondence is taking place in a dualism sign. Correspondence is communication by exchange of letters, colors, information exchange. The colors in a dualism sign are the information that are exchanged. It's coherence, comparability, comparison, equivalence, fitness, match, symmetry. See, look at it. It's not the greatest drawing, but I think that you can kind of see the symmetry there. Once the two orbs have blended, you see that the black sphere offers a portion of itself over to the white sphere. The white sphere in exchange offers the black orb a portion of itself, and it is depicted by the dots in the belly, I guess you can say, of the white orb and in the chest of the black orb. That contrast that exists on each side is where it shows or reveals that information is being exchanged. Let me try to say that differently very quickly. The black sphere gave a black dot, which is the information, to the white sphere, and the white sphere gave to the black dot the white dot of information. Does that make sense? Mm-mm. But we're going to keep on moving. We did come too far. Okay. Now, understanding that they're having this exchange, we're going to strike that out, move quicker. Then there's the law of compensation. It's basically the same. It is this agreement that once these two energies merged, and once one gives, the other naturally must make a payment. But let me go to the law of compensation. Number 6. Compensation, rewarding someone for service or making up for someone's loss. In this case, who is suffering the loss? In the dualism sign, the black orb, when merging with the white orb, suffers a loss. It loses a part of itself, giving it over to the white orb. And because the black orb has lost a part of itself, in union with the white orb naturally, by law, has to give a part of itself to the black orb to make up for the black orb's loss. It is a form of, now these are the synonyms for compensation: coverage or reimbursement. How about atonement? And finally, reciprocity. You give to me, I'll give to you. I'm going to enhance you, and you're going to enhance me. This stands true with natural magnets. The North and South Pole come together. It's not easy to identify with just the magnets. That's why I tried to incorporate the dualism sign here. But the simple function that the magnets actually come together and connect, and will stay connected until they are forced to be separated, suggests to us under the universal laws that the North and South poles are having an exchange. They are the poles of the North and South, of the magnets, and the North and South poles are having or performing the law of correspondence as well as the law of compensation. Yeah, moving too slow. Some subjects are really tough, but that's okay. We're going to figure this out. And why am I interested in figuring it out? It is because I have seen, witnessed, and attempted the law of attraction. And it wasn't successful. And I've heard others say that it wasn't successful. And my point here is to point out that there are at least 12 different laws that have to be adhered to in order to successfully achieve the law of attraction. It just doesn't stop there. That one law does not stand by itself. It does not stand isolated, but is it accompanied by whole set, a whole dozen of requirements or rules. So far, relative to the magnet and to the dualism sign, we've covered the law of gender, the law of polarity, the law of relativity, saying that something has to be, the participants have to possess the masculine and feminine energy. And I'm not just talking about heterosexual. Let me say it now for somebody start fussing. Some females are more masculine. An example, if I'm just talking about relationships, I may attract more of a feminine, more type of male because I have just such a masculine disposition, that kind of thing. But then it does go into, of course, the natural law of man and woman. But then there's the law of polarity. I have something that the male doesn't have, or he has something that I don't have, whether it's physically or spiritually. And so it's something that we may need each other for. Now, this law of attraction is just not relative to relationships. It is relative to, I believe, all aspects of life. But this video has to have some boundaries, so we're going to keep it moving. We dealt with the law of relativity, saying that you have to be in the same species, in the same gender, not of the same gender, but of the same species, of the same type. The orbs, the magnets, or the people, that kind of thing. We've done law of attraction due to the differences. One is attracted or lured by someone that they they are relative to. They are pulled in. They are interested in being enhanced. And then once they agree or come together, the law of correspondence and the law of compensations begins to take place. I give you, you give me. Therefore, the interaction has a purpose. And that is of what? Enhancement. Now, once we have the, I don't know which order I should have put them in. We'll go to the law of action. What does it talk? What is the definition of action? I'm trying to speed up. I don't like going over an hour. I know I'd be like, that's a long video. But okay, the law of action, being active, something done or performed. Activity, life, operation, response, animated, enterprise, industry, occupation. How does that relate to our orbs or our dualism sign now and the magnets, especially when they come together? Well, it's because, guess what? It's not just there. What's not just there? The dualism sign is not just there, or the magnets in this case are not just there. They're actually doing something. They are performing a task. The example of this drawn dualism sign is it is active. It is performing a task. It's performing a duty, a deed. It is teaching the 12 universal laws. The magnet is in reality, not the one drawn. The reality is actually doing something. They are being, the North and South Pole are being magnetized to each other. I don't know if I talked about two North Poles coming together and repelling, or two South Poles coming together or being introduced to each other, repelling. They are doing something. And what are they doing? They are repelling because they have the exact same properties. Yes, they cover the law of relativity. They have something in common. They related. They close cousins. They both magnets. However, they have the exact same properties. They have nothing to offer to the other. What do I mean, other? The North Pole to the North Pole, the South Pole to the South Pole. The exact same thing stands um, uh, for the individual orbs that have created our dualism sign. The black orb is not looking for another black orb because the black orb has all the properties necessary to be identified as a black orb. And for it to go join union with another black orb, what would it accomplish? All it would be is more black, or more negativity, or more is negative, is black, and is dark. But I mean, well, and the same thing stands true with the white orb. What would the white orb want to do with connecting with another white orb? All it would do is find or be more positive. It'd be the same thing. It's still positive. It's still a white orb. You know, that kind of thing is, again, I don't know which one, masculine and feminine. I think the white is the feminine. Anyway, my time is dwindling down. I'm trying to speed up. So, they would repel each other. Why? The big question is why? It's because they have nothing to give. They cannot perform the law of correspondence, nor can they perform the law of compensation, because they can't perform correspondence. So we know that in this case, opposites attract. But anyway, let's go. Try to finish this up. Cause and effect. Oh, okay, we did the law of action because everything's busy doing something. Magnets are coming together, being magnetized. The dualism sign is coming in order to embody the 12 universal laws. Now let's focus on. Okay, well, let's do the law of vibration, followed by the law. Oh, okay. The law of vibration and the law of rhythm. Now, as I was saying with the law of action, doing something, when you are doing something, or even if you exist, you exist. Existing is doing something. The magnets exist. The orbs exist. Their properties exist. And they have a vibration. And when they come together, they have a vibration. It is an enhanced vibration. But let's read the definition of vibration. The act of vibrating, oscillating, reciprocating. See? Reciprocating. That part of the definition goes back to the law of correspondence. Correspondence and compensation are reciprocating. Therefore, they are vibrating. They are doing. Or other periodic motions of rigid or elastic body or medium force from a position or state of equilibrium. The state of equilibrium has been disturbed. Now, what does that mean? The state of equilibrium has been disturbed. When the white orb was the white orb, there was no excitement. It was the white orb. It was positive. It was feminine. But there wasn't any excitement. That was a norm. Common. The same stand true with the black orb. When it was the black orb and it had yet merged or had its exchange with the white orb, it was just the black orb, the negative, the masculine. There was no excitement. It was just common, everyday, natural. The same stands true with the magnet, both south and north. There's nothing new. The north magnet and the south pole magnet had all that they needed to be themselves. There was nothing new. It was natural, everyday, and common. So, I forgot. I talked so much trying to hurry up. So, when they came together, these units, as defined previously, It was excitability. Oh my goodness, I have the chance to engage and to find out what this opposite energy consists of. It's going to share itself with me. And so it creates this vibration because it's actually doing something. The same thing exists in your relationships or your partnerships or your connections and interactions with another. I don't know. Whew. Okay, what I got? And I went over an hour. All right, let me go. Now, once we have this vibration that starts taking place, let's see if it can work. Can it really, really work, and what can it accomplish? We find that under the law of rhythm. You ever tangle with someone? You know, you can't do modern dance while you're supposed to be tangling or socially. You know, you have to have the same steps, the same patterns, the same beats. This stands true in the being attached to something or someone. In this case, is the blending of the orbs to make the dualism sign, or the coming together of the magnets. Everything doesn't take place simultaneously, like bumping heads with the North Pole with another North Pole. They're both doing things at the same time. And so they push back and repel. The same thing stands true with the South Pole. They push back and repel. It stands true also with the orbs, individual total orbs that create our dualism sign. That, again, remember, there's no uniqueness or division if you try to merge another black orb with a black orb. It just continues to be the same thing, the same concept, the same energy. Same thing with the white orb. But uh, when you get that South Pole and that North Pole together, remember, they're relative, they close, they cousin, they got something in common, they both human, whatever the case may be, whatever the example is. But there's something a little different about that North node. Or there's something a little different about that South node, South Pole, North node. And that difference, those differences, are what creates the rhythm. How can I say it? The North node, the South node, same thing with the orbs, once blended. Each has its moment in time, synchronized to express itself and to vibrate, going back to vibrate, with the unit, the other unit it has joined with. They both have time to express their individual property, but is able or capable of synchronizing their differences to create, yeah, the last one, oneness. Oneness, the law of divine oneness. And oneness, as defined, is singleness, identity, unity of thought, feeling, belief, aim. The synonym is accord, harmony, integrity, uniformity, indivisibility. And what does that mean? Well, the dualism sign is the perfect symbol for oneness. All 12 of the universal laws, including the law of attraction, create this one symbol, this single symbol. When the south pole of a magnet meets the north pole of a magnet, they come together and they lock in. If you don't look closely, you can't tell where the south end and the north end ends or blends. It's just one whole complete unit. What I was attempting to move and investigate and to present is that the law of attraction, I do believe, works. I know that it continues to work without our help. Whose help? Mine, yours, any individual humanity. This is a natural law set forth by God. And so it's always working. The other thing is that we try to activate or perform the law of attraction on our own. I'm not even going to say that we can't, but it may be like finding a needle in a haystack. And the reason it's because it's 12 rules or laws that are associated with the law of attraction. The law of attraction does not stand alone. I guess that's the overall thing I was trying to explain here in this video. Anyway, if you were able to ride the wave with me here at Can Angels Fly and talk about the law of attraction, I appreciate you. Until next time, bye.